Luva de pedreiro, literally bricklayer's glove. That's how Irade Santana Alves came to be the one most successful person in one of the biggest countries in the world, and conquering the entire globe in a blink of an eye. With a simple pair of masonry gloves, a ball, a crossbar, and 2 friends, a new world full of fame and status were given to a single person whose life was a mere day-to-day routine in a lonely field. First of all, to understand this phenomenon, we gotta take a couple steps back and dive deep further into the new world we're living in, so-called the internet. With such an easy way to connect with everyone across the seas, the internet has provided us with so much magnificent social medias and content providers such as YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the so wondrous called TikTok. TikTok has been around for a good time already, so it is fair to say that it's one of the biggest platforms available out there. We have big cases such as Kabilam that went viral without even using a single word, and so much others that you probably wouldn't even imagine can nowadays make a living out of it. Luva, on the other hand, did use a very significant word to become a memorable person, by screaming out loud and very clear a single word capable of changing one's course of life.
Receba! O cara da luva de pedreiro! O melhor do mundo, Pai, Filho do Espírito Santo. Sim! Esse golaço vai para todos os sonhadores aí. Todo que nunca desiste seu sonho. Tenha fé em Deus. Tenha fé em Deus sempre! Obrigado, meu Deus! Sim!
Irade Santana Alves was born and raised in a very tiny place called Kijingue in the state of Bahia, located in the northeast of Brazil with only 27,000 people. Luva was able to change this place's history forever by doing one of the most known ways of making a living, playing football, or soccer, however you want to call it. Well, when it comes to football, everyone knows, or at least should know, that Brazil has a huge passion for it, considering themselves one of the biggest and better nations when it comes to kicking the ball. So it's not uncommon to ask someone what they would play in their childhood or what they wanted to be, and everyone answers was a football player. Luva, not differently, loves football more than anything, and also through his passion was able to conquer the world and change those around you, especially his family's life that were in a very difficult position facing poverty, since his village of Tabua has approximately only 196 people, making it so harsh for everyone coming from the countryside of Bahia to make a fair living.
Futebol é vida, é alma. Futebol pra mim é importante. Sem futebol pra mim, eu não sou nada.
By spending most of his life working with his dad, harvesting, he also had his passion for becoming a football player while growing up. It was with his first cell phone, gave by his mom, that everything was about to change. In a very simple field, and 2 of his best friends, he decided that scoring a goal in an astonishing way was the best way to start it. But at first, people didn't seem to like it. Surprisingly, they were instead making fun of his torn gloves, calling him Luva de Pedreiro, which then he decided to make that his new nickname, and also tell the haters his so powerful motto.
Receba! Sim!
Reaching insane amount of numbers and views through his simple recorded videos, Luva was able to grow his successful image every time more and more, becoming the first and only Brazilian personality to be followed by the official Instagram account, making tons of celebrities in the football community, such as professional players like Cristiano Ronaldo and his son,
Receba, caralho!
Neymar, Barcelona, and plenty of others is starting to repeat Luva's catchphrases.
Gol! Sì! De Seba! Domenica gioco io, piccoli Evo, Adon, Roberto. Grazie signore, grazie signore, grazie per tutti ragazzi. Grazie signore, grazie signore.
While spreading his phrases through the internet, something seemed very alike in his social medias. That being, no recordings with brands, not even collabs with YouTubers. Judging by his gigantic capacity of reaching on the internet, everyone assumed it was already time for him to become more active in publicity. But according to his former manager, that wasn't something good for his future career. It was when everything was about to become a horror movie. During Luva's tremendous success, also a huge backlash was coming towards his former manager, Alan Jesus, which was then accused of stealing the boy's money and also only working with him for the clout. With videos of Luva eating pizza for the first time or small achievements like buying a new TV, people were very unsatisfied with how Alan managing was turning out to be, especially after the company's name behind Luva's career was also printed out in Luva's YouTube play button. One day, with no direct warning or messages, everything seemed to be okay, but it was when Luva appeared on his Instagram live, mumbling about something not so clear, but it was enough for people to associate that with his former manager, triggering a new cycle of twists and turns amongst Luva and his former managing team. After leaked information of the contract was published, the termination fine for Luva's side of the contract for its breach was said to be about 5 million reais, or $940,000, which clearly was a red flag for a lot of people, since the boy and his parents seemed to be illiterates and couldn't read the proper terms before signing it. Not only that, but it was also mentioned through the contract that Luva had only about 45% of the sharehold of the new brand they had just created. Meanwhile, his former manager and another TikTok user allegedly shared 55% left. After all those issues raised, and Luva not seeming to be treated equally, and still not seeing the bloom of his creation by still living in poor conditions, another celebrity of the football world decided to step in. Falcão, a former indoor football player very famous and influential in Brazil, gave Luva the chance to become partners, and so it happened. Luva had decided to change his managing team and settle things legally with the former one. Up to these days, everything seems to be slowly getting back to normal in both sides of the story, since Luva got to finally live the life he deserves, showing his new mansion with his friends and family gathered. Also signing contracts with Amazon and Adidas to become more and more professional. Luva is a great case of the internet that worked out, someone so simple that only had simplicity and humbleness to offer, but he was caught off guard by his naivety. Hope everything goes okay with this whole situation and everyone can prosper again, especially Luva, that now can share with the world the best of his creativity. Hope we can see Luva in the World Cup, showing everyone the power to be magnificent and unstoppable.
Receba! Sim!